Hello and welcome to the Agile demo for instructors. When you first log in, you'll be able to see the product backlog. We'll talk about accepted stories after we run a sprint. There's also an overview of the company sponsoring the project, their background, the product goal, the org chart, stakeholders, team working agreement, definition of done, and the team members as well. Here you can see the team members, their individual profiles. This will be important as the team is assigning resources to the different user stories. You'll see the performance review, education, experience, and objectives. When the student first comes into the simulation, they'll see the backlog items, and on the backlog items, you can see they're already in a priority order. This is by default. You can also sort by MVP. These are the stories that we want the students to complete to be able to successfully run the sim. And then the number of story points, and we'll be assigning them to a sprint. Let's go ahead and do that. Assign of several to sprint 1. And then within each user story, you'll see the information that's needed for each story, the story number, the story points, and a business value that's been assigned as well. Let's scroll up, and we'll now see in our Scrum board that these stories have been added into our backlog. Click on a user story. Again, you can see the information, story points, the value. Students can also assign resources here as well. And then we want to run the sprint. To do that, though, we want to go to our interactive calendar. And here we'll add the Scrum ceremonies in on Monday, the first week. We'll add a Scrum event. We're going to do a daily stand-up. We're going to make this recurring throughout the 2-week sprint. And you'll see it populates on the calendar behind it. Also on Monday, very often we do a sprint planning. We'll save that. Go down to the second week. On Monday, we'll add a Scrum event for the backlog refinement. Within the sim week, we can choose Thursday. It's a typical day to do the sprint review. And then on Friday, we'll add a Scrum event for the sprint retrospective. And the students will need to do this at the start of every sprint. After they run a week, the first week of the sprint, they're able to come back and make changes. The other opportunities they have within the calendar are to do one-on-one sessions with team members. We'll select a topic. On quality, we'll choose Katina, make it 1 hour, and then we have the options too to have feedback, praise them for the work that they've done. We might want to coach, counsel, or warn them as well. The other items that you can do within the calendar, individual awards and team awards. Pizza lunch is always popular. Save that. And now we're ready to run the sprint. Let's walk through the first week of a sprint. You can see the interactions. Your team assistant pops up. She'll be providing tips along the way. Our first communication is from our COO. She is looking to reinforce how critical it is that you complete the minimum viable products. And then the students have a choice of how they're going to answer this. Say, what kind of help are you offering? You can see as the week is running, Monday, all the work that's being done. We also have interactions here that reinforce the different ceremonies that we have. This is for a stand-up. The team will discuss what they did yesterday, what they'll do today, and any blockers that they're facing. The students must listen to the video. Once they listen to the video, 3 choices come up, and these are for the students to decide how they want to answer. Depending on the answer they take, they might motivate the team, they might demotivate the team. Also, if they choose one that's not ideal, they'll see some coaching tips to be a better Scrum Master and interact with their team and focus on motivation and Agile skills. We're going to choose great. Let's ensure the follow-up on the blockers right after the meeting. Have a productive day. While I'm here, I'll note that you can also see a transcript of the audio as well, so they could go back and review without having to listen. Let's ensure that we follow up on those blockers. More interactions. There's a team member wondering, why do we need to stand up? Well, we're just getting started here, so let's discuss this in our team retrospective. Here's a team member who doesn't have access to the team board. How will does a Scrum Master respond to that? Here, a team member has approached our student Scrum Masters and saying that one of our team members has provided the same update for several days. He's asking that the Scrum Master talk to her. Accountability and collaboration are essential Agile traits. Let's see if she needs help. I will try. That resolution will happen in week 2, but the first thing that pops up is the history report where students can go through all the interactions that happened, what stories they've worked on. This is a history of what they chose as they interacted with the simulation and the stories completed this week. The other thing that comes up after we finish a week, we have reports. Here's the history report. We'll see the burn down chart, the velocity trend. They completed 12 story points this week, cumulative flow as well. So for week 2, we're not going to run through that, but again, the students could go through, they can update their calendar, they could add interactions in, training options that are available, that sort of thing. And that's essentially how we run the sprint.